everyone, it's Katie from Chords Records, Deep Cuts of 2025. So I did this last year and I absolutely loved it. I create a Spotify playlist, I'll put it in the description below, of all the music I'm about to chat about. And it is Spotify because Apple, you can't really create playlists that are unique like you can in Spotify. So we all hate Spotify, I get that, but this is the only way I can share it to you all so you can sample these tracks. So what are the deep cuts? The deep cuts are the songs from albums, from the new albums that came out this year. And they're sort of deep cuts on the music, on the albums, that I'm hoping will introduce you to maybe a different side of an artist you didn't know, or even artists you don't know at all. So it's just a bit of fun, and without further ado, I am going to kick off with one of my favorite albums of this year. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. Dean Owen's Spirit Ridge, and the song I'm featuring is A Divine Tragedy. It's the second to last song. This artist is a beautiful Scottish kind of Americana artist. He's been around for a while. I saw him live at in a little small town here in Australia at a folk festival, and it blew me away, and I bought every album that he had for sale there, and this was the one that came out in 2025. And interestingly enough, his last couple of albums, he's kind of connected with the guys from Calexico. So it's that sort of vibe. But this particular album, he recorded in Italy with a Italian producer called John Convertino. I hope I said that correctly, who was introduced to them by the guys from Calexico. And this album is so beautiful. If you've never heard of him, give the deep cut a listen. A Divine Tragedy by Dean Owens, a Scottish troubadour. Right, the next one is Of Monsters and Men. Of course, the amazing band from the Scandinavian region, came out this year. Absolutely love Of Monsters and Men. One of the best gigs I've ever been to in the last 20 years was in the Mosh Pit at a festival in Sydney, Australia. And this album came out this year, All Is Love and Pain in the Mouse Parade. And the deep cut off here is Fruit Bat. It's 8 minutes of absolute gorgeousness. Give that a listen. A really, really fantastic track. Right, the next one is Brandi Carlile. You may know I love Brandi Carlile, but the track I'm going to feature off her latest album, Returning to Myself, is a song, again, the second to last track on the album, No One Knows Us. It's just kind of this beautiful, understated, driving, kind of Bruce Springsteen-esque rhythm, and it's just a beautiful track. So that's No One Knows Us by Brandi Carlile's latest album, Returning to Myself. Right, the next one is probably not, you probably don't call this a deep cut, but I just find it really interesting. Chappell Roan put out a single this year called The Subway. No album attached, just put out this single, and it's been nominated for Grammys, and it was a huge hit on Record Store Day. And I just love it when artists just feel that they, can put out music. It's not attached to anything. It's just a banger of a song. And that is the case with this song, The Subway. So if you feel like Chappell Roan's not in your wheelhouse, it's not your kind of music, listen to this song. It's such a great, perfect pop tune. Right, the next one is the side project of Greta Van Fleet, a band called Mirador. One of the brothers is in it and has created it. And this is this kind of very glam rock Celtic album. Lots of almost psych rock, or no, prog rock probably. Beautiful album, and I just don't think it's been talked about enough. And the deep cut on this album is Must I Go Bound. It is so beautiful and so poignant and heartbreaking. So that is Must I Go Bound from Mirador. Right. This album, if you haven't heard it, stream it. Anastasia. I've included a track off this. It was hard to pick just one. This album is absolutely extraordinary. Nothing else around at the moment. Anastasia is a English / Nigerian singer based in the UK, and sort of has been likened to the Sade's or Tracy Chapman's of the world, kind of a very deep voice, or almost breathy like. But she considers herself a folk singer and a guitarist. Beautiful music, and the deep cut of this one is Satisfy Me. The whole album is beautiful, but Satisfy Me is particularly gorgeous. Right, a very popular album on the best ofs this year for a lot of the vinyl community, and of course that is Ryan Davies and the Roadhouse Band. This album is fun, exciting, abstract, unusual, monumental. It's sort of Americana. It's sort of, yeah, I'd put it in the alt country or alt Americana. New Threats from the Soul is the album, but the deep cut from here that I'm going to feature is The Simple Joy. Honestly, this album is just, it deserves to be in the top 10 of so many lists this year. The Simple Joy is such an outstanding track. Right. Here's one you may not know. This is a new singer, Carter Faith, with her album Cherry Valley. And kind of don't let that cover put you off. It's a bit cheesy. This is a new kind of country artist, and this is a brand new label called Gatsby Records by I think she's a songwriter, Jo Dillion. I think her name is Joanne Dillion. I can't quite remember, but it's a brand new label, but it's Dave Cobb, who is now a kind of creative director at one of the big labels, has kind of started and helped support this new sub-label called Gatsby Records. And this is the first album off that imprint. And it is such a surprise. She's an unusual, intellectual, feisty country singer. And the music is a real treat. Like, she's a very clever writer. Give her a listen if you're into sort of country or Americana music. It's probably more steeped in country, but it's irreverent and funny and dark. A really great album. And the deep cut on this I'm including is If I'd Never Lost My Mind. And it's really such a great song. So you can stream that on my playlist, which is in the description. All right, if I could ask you to please subscribe to this this channel, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to keep going. Give a bit thumbs up as well, a bit of a like. So this is Racing Mount Pleasant. This made my top albums of 2025, and the track from here I'd like to include is a stunning song called Emily. I don't think it was one of the singles at all. It was definitely a deep cut, and it is a kind of a it builds and builds and builds like all Racing Mount Pleasant music does, in that kind of orchestral pop kind of vibe. Or collective ensemble, I should say, orchestral ensembles, lots of instruments. Emily is the deep cut. All right. Big Thief, thank God, released a new album this year. I absolutely love Big Thief. And this album was called Double Infinity. I mean, you can't go wrong, obviously, with Big Thief in my mind. This is a fantastic album. It's not my favorite Big Thief album, but I still absolutely loved it. But I particularly love a song on here called Grandmother. So give that a listen. That's the deep cut of Big Thief. Right. Here's a woman who I saw live at the very beginning of the year, Cassie Valazza, and the album is called From Newman Street. these independent artists, you know, they make their money from touring. She's been touring Australia, New Zealand, she's touring Europe. They don't sell a lot of albums, these type of artists, and she should be a superstar. Her talent is knows no bounds as far as a singer goes, as far as songwriting goes, and I just wish she was more well known. And the Deep Cut, which was actually the single from the album, but because she's so little known, every song on here is a deep cut. And the song is Weight of the Wheel. It is immediately a classic when you listen to it. You cannot stop hearing it. It's hearing it in your ear. Give that a listen, and please go support this artist. I think she's on Bandcamp, Cassie Velazza. Right, this is the only deep cut I'm going to feature that you cannot listen on Spotify. So it's not included in the playlist. It's not available digitally. The only way you can listen to this song is by buying the vinyl, and the vinyl was released on Record Store Day. And you'll be surprised when I say Brandi Carlile and Elton John live at the London Palladium have a deep cut, but they do. And that is the live version they sing together and play together on Benny and the Jets. This rendition of this Elton John classic is up there with one of the best live Elton John songs I've heard. I've got most of his live albums, I think. And he does this amazing piano song. You'd be surprised how well these two connect. Like, it may be putting you off if you're an Elton John fan hearing Brandi Carlile, or vice versa. But the way they come together on that song, but it's particularly Elton John's and the band. The band is phenomenal on this song, and it goes on and he breaks out into this amazing solo. It's recorded quite beautifully. So that is the deep cut from this album. It's worth buying this album just for that song alone. And that's a deep cut, Benny and the Jets. Bon Iver, his new album, or their new album, I should say, and If Only I Could Wait, featuring Danielle Hamm. It's just, to me, it's just such a groove of a song, and I just absolutely love it. I think that might have been a single, actually, so it's probably not by definition a deep cut, but it's just one of my favorite tracks of the year. Yes, you've probably heard me talk about this. Was my #1 album of the year, Matt Mason. A Quiet and Harmless Living. And the deep cut of this song, which I'm going to share with you, is Halfway to Whole. Every time I hear that song, I'm just immediately drawn back into how much I love this album. And it's a good starter song for this album. Right. This is an interesting one. This was a compilation put out this year by for the Bridge School, supporting Neil Young's. Neil Young and his ex-wife have a foundation that supports the Bridge School. And this album was honestly such an amazing compilation. But the deep cut on here, which is just beautiful, is a song called Heart of Gold by Neil Young, sung by the majestic voice of Fiona Apple. That deep cut alone is worth buying this album for. If you can still get it, it might have sold out, I'm not sure, but you can stream it. It's on my playlist. Give it a listen. All right. And here's another one which is a little bit unusual, and it was only released as a single. And it was a fun little 7-inch pink vinyl. And it was this random little collaboration between Wicked co-stars Jeff Goldblum, the actor, and Ariana Grande. And of course, we know Jeff Goldblum's a pretty amazing pretty good jazz musician. He's and he's got this funny little outfit called, what are they called? They're called Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Schnitzer Orchestra. featuring Ariana Grande, and they cover the absolute standard, classic standard, I Don't Know Why, I Just Do. And Ariana Grande, honestly, she'll put out a jazz vocal album. I just love her. And it's just a really fun little single. They did release it as a digital single. Give it a stream. I've included it on my playlist. And now finally, I'm going to feature an Australian deep cut. And I've decided for the next little while, for as long as I want to do it, every video I do, I'm going to always feature an Australian artist. So whatever theme it is, at some point during the video, I'm going to make sure I include an Australian artist. I live in Australia, trying to share more Australian music on this channel when I can. And so I thought, okay, what better way to do it than, no matter what I'm talking about, make sure I always include an Australian artist. And so I'm kicking off with this video. I'm calling it Antipodean Sounds. And so the deep cut I'm going to feature is from this breakout, beautiful folk group called Folk Bitch Trio from Australia, 3 friends. They're signed to Jag Jaguar, and the deep cut is this achingly beautiful song called Mary's Playing the Harp, and it's the song that ends the album. And I've included it on the playlist for you to have a listen to. Check this album out. It's so fantastic. All right, that's my deep cuts for 2025. I have one more video left of the year, and it will probably be the vinyl tag. We'll see. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Bye.